So we were just talking about Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who you're playing in The Forgiven. So you actually met him?
Yeah, you know, I had met him years before because I have a peace organization, a conflict resolution organization that works in about 5 countries. So we had met and talked a number of times. And like I said, he's somebody I really admire. I mean, I quote like some of his phrases to the kids and the youths I work with. It's like one, with all these little bits of good put together, you can overwhelm the world.
Man.
Like, really beautiful, you know, things, and very important for us to realize that together we can like make a really big change on the planet.
So how do you approach characters like this? What is that process for you?
You know, like I said, I'd always admired him. So when I'm sitting there talking to him, I was actually just quite nervous, trying to figure out how I was going to be able to project this kind of real, you know, spiritual power and like love, you know what I mean, that he like projects out. And in a way, a sense of humor, you know, too, like the way he views the world. He has like sort of a smile at it, you know, while he's trying to like change it.
Father, please find me just one piece of bone.
I promise.
Don't go to that prison. He's only out to harm you.
But he knows
who killed this girl.
What did you learn about yourself while taking on this role?
I'm always questioning like the capacity of like how far we can go to truly love and forgive, you know? Everyone says the same. I mean, Mother Teresa said the same thing. She's like, you know, talking about being able to see yourself in the person across from you, being able to recognize and have empathy really to who they are, and recognize that we all come from the same source, the same kernel, and that like the forgiveness is partly about yourself. It's about being able to release some of the pains and stuff that you have because of what someone's done. You know, to hold on to it is cancer, creating cancer almost inside of yourself. The pains and the sadness and the reactions that you may have, to be controlled by something that is amorphous, painful thing is not good for our spirits.
It really isn't. I love all the work that you're doing in Africa, and I love the movies that you've been in, because I feel that people, I hope at least, are starting to shed their perceptions of Africa, and they don't realize how beautiful and great and incredible it is. Do you feel the perceptions are starting to change for a more positive light on Africa?
I do. I think like the sort of economic, you know, benefits of being in the continent are really powerful to people. I think the country is starting to deal with its resources and start to rise up. You know, obviously there's places of difficulty that are coming out of the colonial, you know, space, you know, even still, but I think there's an excitement about business and what people are trying to do there.
And for a while, you focused on production and then focused more on acting. Do we see you going back to more production mode?
Well, my company always producing films.
Right.
I mean, the first one we did was Fruitvale Station.
Which was phenomenal.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes.
Dope.
Yep.
And, it's a Roxanne film that's going to be coming out, and we just did one recently also called Sorry to Bother You. So, you know, I'm kind of always actively, you know, producing films and stuff. I haven't directed in a while.
And congratulations on all the success for Black Panther. I mean, we're still talking about it and we're still in love with it. Did you have any idea the impact that it would have?
I did think it was going to be a big success. I have to be honest. You know, I believe in Ryan Coogler. I think that he had an amazing cast. You know, he wrote a great script, and I thought it was the right time.
It was beautiful. Whose team were you on, T'Challa or Killmonger? Because we have these debates all the time.
Well, I mean,
in the movie, we know what side you're on, but
yeah, exactly.
When you watch it, were there any moments you're like, man, I really feel Killmonger right now?
The story of Killmonger and like a youth who's been abandoned by his family and stuff, and who has to fend for himself and grow up like in a hostile world in a way, and what it does to him is like it means a lot to Zuri. I mean, he cares, you know, and he feels partly responsible for not being there, for not being a keeper, you know, your brother's keeper and stuff, which is, I think, caring for each other and is one of the messages that Ryan put in the film. It's a big one about that we have responsibility for each other, you know.
Growing up in LA and seeing the riots and obviously during the civil rights movement and then the rise of the Black Panther Party, how did that feel for you to then be part of it now, a movie?
I mean, it was different. I was a little kid. I mean, I remember the Black Panther Party. They had their offices around the corner from my house. I used to see them every single day. They picked me up and tossed me up and down, you know. And then I remember the one day when I went home and their building was blown up. And I remember it really distinctly and very well. I'm sure it's partly one of the main reasons why I work in conflict resolution in my organization. And then I think what's happening, you know, if you're talking about the film, is like this beautiful movement of people like feeling empowered and also recognizing that we are still like together in this and one together in this. And there's just so many powerful messages that I think come from the project, that come from the film.
Are we ever gonna get a music album from you? Think ever?
No, I don't think so. I don't
No?
know. You never know, you know. You never know.
Why not?
We'll see. You
We'll
never
see
know.
how that goes.
Yeah, I sang a little on Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple times.
Did you know that MIGOS had a song called Forest Whitaker?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so great.
Yeah, it's a great song. They like put all
Your
the,
roles.
yeah, it's amazing.
It's a pleasure to just be sitting here and having this conversation with you.
Thanks.
Of course.
Yeah.